Hello, hello. I hope you're doing well and having a great week. So I was thinking about my story and about my health and what has transformed over the last 5 years since I started Plexus. I was really, really sick for a very long time because I had high amounts of steroids given to me while I was pregnant because I had antibodies that destroyed our baby's platelets. I had that with all our pregnancies. And so they did a medical study to see if they killed my immune system, if that would affect our baby's platelet count. So I was pregnant, I was healthy, and they destroyed my immune system, which destroyed my life. I was 24 at the time. I was pregnant with our second baby. I had 3 more after that. Completely destroyed my health. And I had tried everything to build up my immune system, to heal my gut, to do all the things, and nothing. So I pretty much spent my entire adult life trying to recover from that, and I never could fully recover. I've always had problems. But I spent a lot of time taking a lot of vitamins and probiotics because I had a lot of candida, really bad candida, so badly that it was in my bloodstream and just all over my organs. And I had scar tissue on my kidney from weak immune system. And the list is just too long. It just was everything. I had so many issues. So I spent a lot of time taking vitamins and supplements. So I was very, very experienced with that. I saw a nutritionist, I saw a naturopath, I saw 2 different chiropractors who were also naturopaths, a homeopathic doctor. I just spent a lot of time on the natural side of it. The medical side of it, I saw doctors too, and they really tried to help me also. I had surgeries. I just had a lot of experience with a lot of medical treatments trying to recover from this. So before I started Plexus, I spent 6 years with chronic bladder and kidney problems, kidney infections. So I was on a lot of antibiotics for 6 years leading up to, and this did not do my candida and my immune system any favors at all. It actually made me a lot worse to the point where I was bedridden and I could not recover. I had 2 kidney surgeries. I even developed a tumor on my breast, which I'm sure had to do with it. It was a super aggressive tumor, and I was bedridden and I was miserable, and I could not overcome this. And that's when I found Plexus. It was so random, so unexpected, but a perfect answer to prayer, and it completely fell in my lap, and I knew it was from the Lord. And I was able to use what I learned in my experience with my vitamins and supplements to make the products work for me, because I was really, really sick. And when I switched over from what I was doing to Plexus, I had to decrease the amount that I was taking. I was actually afraid because I was taking so much. I was taking 13 to 15 different supplements. 2 of them were prescription vitamins. Vitamin D was prescription, and iron, and I was also taking over the counter, and I still was deficient. And I was so dependent on these vitamins because even though the quality of my life was horrific, I needed them to stay alive. And I noticed that my health just nosedive if I ran out of any of these. So I always stayed on top of it. And I took 13 to 15 different supplements, and I took 4 to 12 times the amount that was recommended per doctor. I was seeing doctors, and it was keeping me alive, and I was thankful. So when I found Plexus, I finished up what I had and was taking. And because I was taking so much, I would run out really easily. So I started Plexus and continued my stuff till I ran out pretty quickly, but I wasn't taking near as much because I took the Triplex. So I was taking so many supplements that were keeping me alive that I was a little bit nervous to just go to the Triplex. So I started with just the Triplex, and they recommend you take 1 of each. And I'm like, I'm going to go from all these handfuls of supplements to just 3. So what I did was I started with 2. So I took 2 of each, 2 Slim, 2 BioCleanse, 2 ProBio5. And then I slowly worked my way up to taking 2 Triplex complete, 2 double. And I also started taking the X Factor Plus. I doubled up on those. And I took, after 3 months of the Triplex, I did the X Factor Plus, Vital Biome, and Active too. So, but the reason why I saw such good results and did so well is because of my mindset. My mindset is what did it, and it was because of everything that I had been through and what I had learned. So I was able to apply what I learned to my Plexus supplement and made it work for me. And I didn't have anybody tell me about Plexus. I didn't have anyone give me a bunch of information, message me. I didn't see any posts about it. I did see my friend post about gut health, which is what made me reach out to her, because I'm like, maybe she takes Plexus, because she talked about gut health. I don't remember her ever saying anything about Plexus. In fact, when I first saw it, I thought it was a travel agency. I had been praying and looking for something because I knew I needed better supplements, but I didn't know where to go or anything, because I was already taking the best of the best at the time. And I'm like, there has to be something even better. And Plexus literally landed in my lap to the point where I thought it was a travel agency. I had no idea. So I jumped in with both feet. I did my own homework. I didn't have anybody holding my hand or anything because I already knew what to do. And it was all about my mindset. And so that's the point I want to get across to you. You can make this work for you, and you have to strengthen your mindset to do it. Persistence and consistency, and just building belief that this is going to work, So when I first placed my order, excuse me, I said, you know what, I'm giving this 5 years. And I was only going to do Plexus. I wasn't going to continue my other supplements or anything. So it was easy switch, because I was paying way more money with what I was doing. So I didn't have to do that anymore. I was just going to switch to Plexus, which actually saved me money. I was already incorporating. I had to incorporate it in my grocery budget, all my supplements, because I needed them just as much as I needed groceries. So that was an easy switch. The price for it is so affordable, and it's priceless. It's priceless for me. Some people are like, Plexus is expensive, and I'm like, no, it's priceless. I feel that way about everything else, but I make sure that I can afford it in my grocery bill, along with Jace's insulin and stuff, because that is pricey. Insulin is pricey. If you want to know what's expensive, have a type 1 diabetic kid, and you'll know what expensive is. So I'm able to work all that. So it usually takes me 5 years to overcome if I have something like it. Took me 5 years twice to get my thyroid steady. It took me 5 years to get over the extreme of the candida that was affecting me so much. It took me 5 years to get my blood work into critical condition to normal when I had a vitamin deficiency. 5 years just seems to be the number. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm doing this for 5 years, and I'm not going to quit for 5 years. I'm going to be consistent for 5 years and try it, because I wasn't really sure what to expect. But I did want to be able to get out of bed and to stop having bladder infections. Those were the things that I'm like, that has to happen right away. Please, Lord, if nothing else changes, I at least want to be able to get out of bed, and I at least want to stop having bladder infections, because I was in and out of the hospital and it was getting worse. And that was going to be the death of me if I didn't get this under control. And I kept saying for 6 years, I can't have one more bladder infection. And it was the worst. And wouldn't you know, that's what happened. So thankfully, I was able to get out of bed pretty quickly. And then I was having them every other month like clockwork. Bladder infection. So I was due to have a bladder infection in September, which was when I started Plexus. So I was supposed to have one in September, and then November, and then because it didn't matter what I did. That's just how my schedule was. So I was due to have one in September. I did not have one in September or October, but I did have one in November. But I wasn't as sick. And with it was just like a normal one before. I had I was miserable, but I wasn't I didn't go to the hospital. I didn't have to have IV antibiotic, and it took one round of antibiotics to get rid of it. But I continued my Plexus with it. I always took antibiotics or probiotics with it. So I continued my Plexus with the antibiotic, but that was it. After that, I never got another bladder infection. I had a couple scares so then I had so many health issues, so many. I can't even, it would take me an hour just to talk about that. But I continued to progress and get better. But it wasn't overnight. I think some people expect a quick fix. A quick fix overnight, just get me skinny fast. I just want to get healthy. And if it's not fast enough, I'm going to quit. That's a mindset thing. That is not a Plexus thing. You have to allow your body to work. You had to allow time for your body to heal, especially if it's been a long time. So my story with me being consistent, I'll be your guinea pig. I continued to improve, but I had good days, I had bad days, and I had plateaus. And at first I had more bad days, in the beginning, I had more bad days, but I had a few good days where I'm like, ooh, this is hope. And then I got to the point where I had mostly plateaus, but I still had good and bad days, but it was mostly. So I continue that, and when I started having more good days and bad days and plateaus was at the 10 month. So I was doubling up on everything for 10 months before I started having more good days than bad days, and it just continued to get better from there. I saw a huge breakthrough at my 14-month mark where 2 symptoms just vanished. It was like overnight. It's like I woke up with 2 symptoms that were completely gone. One was a hormone imbalance, and one was I had what are they called? Warts on my thumb pads and on my eyelids. And I woke up one morning, they were gone, and it was on the 14-month mark. At the 3, 4, and 5-year mark, they lowered my dose, my thyroid dose. So at the 3-year mark, they lowered my dose. At the 4-year mark, they lowered it again. At the 5-year mark, they lowered it again. So I just continued to improve. And when I look back on pictures, I can tell a difference. So I can really help people, because when people throw their mindset stuff at me, it doesn't land, and I'm able to walk them through it because I have overcome so much, and it wasn't by accident. It wasn't that Plexus likes my gut better or my gut likes Plexus and no one else's does or anything like that. I know what it takes, and it's not magic. It's not a quick fix. It's not something that replaces good habits. It actually is a tool. So I use Plexus as a tool to overcome my health issues and to reach my goals. And I've reached every goal that I have set out to reach with Plexus. It is a tool to help you reach your goal. It is not medication. It is not the same as medication, which is good because medication has side effects and it hurts your gut and your liver and your kidneys, and it can cause side effects and stuff. Plexus is not like that. It actually works with your body so that your body can heal itself and so that it can function the way God designed our bodies to function. It is amazing. So I just want to leave you with this. If you're like, I have some health issues and I have some goals and I want to lose weight and I want to, I have issues that I want to overcome, but you have a list of excuses on why you can't do that. Most of the time it's money. I realize that is not the case, because if that were the case, I wouldn't do it, because I have huge mindset money issues in every other area. That's how I feel about everything except for Plexus, because of the fact that I was spending way more money on medical bills and managing poor health and all the supplements and medications that I was taking. I actually saved money switching to Plexus. So for me, Plexus is priceless, but there's a lot of excuses. It's like you overcome one, there's another excuse. So I want to challenge your thinking, challenge your mindset, because sometimes we tell ourselves things because we're afraid. We're afraid to move forward. So do not be afraid. Ask me anything you want. I'm happy to share.